G'day guys, hope you're having a good day. So, as much as I don't really enjoy using a case on the beautiful Samsung Galaxy S6, I don't really have an option, as this phone, whilst extremely attractive in design, is quite fragile. Having a glass back and front, along with the metal sides, means I either need to treat this phone like a sensitive baby, or put on a case and then relax. I genuinely find myself constantly worrying that it's going to fall on the ground and then set me back a couple of $100s to repair. So that brings me to the Spigen Neo Hybrid case, and I thought I'd let you know my thoughts on this particular case. Firstly, I've bought the Satin Silver Edition with plastic edges. Now, there are heaps of different Spigen cases you can buy, metal, clear, rugged, and so on, but I went with this one. This model case also comes in 3 other colours: champagne gold, metal slate, and electric blue. So the case comes as 2 separate parts: a black, somewhat rubberized section that gets put on the entire phone, and then a plastic silver bumper that has physical but plastic chrome buttons. There's 2 ways really that you can put the case on, but neither are super user friendly. You can either have the rubber part and the bumper already together and then squeeze the phone in, which is probably how I do it more often, and it does get easier to do this after weeks of using the case. Or you can place the rubber part on first, which is pretty easy, then force the plastic bumper on afterwards. Now, for some reason, I think that this is actually the correct way of doing it, but I get nervous with that plastic bumper every time, and it just seems a little flimsy, so I'm kind of scared that it's actually going to snap when I try and force it around those edges. Oh, and you definitely can't take it off this way. Well, at least when I've tried to, I haven't been able to. Either way, this case is reasonably difficult to take off and to put back on. You know, when I'm in a safer environment, such as at work, at my desk, I want to be able to take this thing off easily. And I do take it off, but it's not convenient. Now, you may be wondering, well, why do you even want to take your case off? Well, I will tell you. Whilst this is a decently designed case and it looks okay on the S6, it just doesn't look great. The S6 is so beautiful that it kind of hurts to have to cover it up with this plastic and rubberized case. I mean, they kind of have done a decent job at emulating the S6 design with those edges on the case looking kind of metal at first glance, even though they're plastic, and it is a form-fitting case, but it does just reduce the prettiness of the phone. But to be fair, most, if not all, cases are going to have that issue, because at the end of the day, they all cover the phone and the design. So then it's a matter of considering the design of the case itself, and if that looks pretty, then that should help this issue out. The Spigen Neo Hybrid case's aesthetic design is good. It's not great and it's not bad, but it's good. Like I said before, I love the chrome but still plastic looking buttons, and I really like the separate cutouts for the camera and flash. The cutouts on the bottom and the top are of a decent size, and you should have no issues fitting your accessories, but they also don't look that nice when on the phone. The black rubberized shell of the case has a textured design in the middle part, which provides good grip, and with hundreds of little plus symbols, it kind of reminds me of the S5 and Galaxy Alpha backs. Spigen also throw their logo on the back and on the side, which is actually a decent size, and it's sure to annoy some people, but it doesn't really bother me. The inside of the rubber has a somewhat familiar pattern texture to it, which is supposedly designed to provide extra shock absorption. It does actually leave a pattern on your phone when you take it out, but this is nothing that a quick wipe down can't fix. I do wonder though, if I just left my phone in this case for 2 years without ever taking it out, would that pattern stay permanently on the phone? Food for thought. In saying all this, if you're buying a case and the aesthetic design of the case is the most important factor for you, then this probably isn't the case for you. But let's look at the reason 99% of us buy cases for our phone. Protection. Now, I'm going to level with you here. I'm not actually willing to do a drop test with my S6 in this case, because then I'm out a lot of money and I'm out of a phone. But I have actually had the phone fall out of a parked car lightly and a couple of other bumps and scratches, and this case has done its job superbly. Again, like I said, without being willing to do a proper drop test with this case, I can't sit here and tell you confidently that this is going to be a super rugged and protective case and that your phone is going to be smash proof in any circumstance with this case on. But in the time I have had it, it's proved great and protective, and aside from that, it just means I can relax about my phone. You know, I can have it sitting in my pocket without worrying it's going to fall out, and I can hand it over to a clumsy friend without stressing. And most importantly, if it falls on the ground, I don't panic. So for me, the pros of this case are that it offers ample protection, and you're not going to be finding yourself with any unnecessary scratches or bumps when using this case. And also, when you don't have the case on the S6, the camera extrudes out the back of the phone. So if you've got the phone resting on a table backside down, it's actually leaning on the camera, which is kind of freaky if you think about it. So that's not an issue with this case. I also really like that the buttons aren't recessed and they're heaps easy to click and they're nice and tactile, which is great. A win in my books is also the lip design, so that if you've got your phone screen side down, you don't have to worry about it scratching the screen, which is awesome. And other than that, it just feels good and solid in the hand. Now, on the con side of things, like I said earlier, it is difficult to take off and to put on, which is kind of annoying. And unfortunately, it does bring down the design of the pretty S6. The only solution to that is buying a metal case. And when you buy a metal case, you run into network reception issues some of the time. I mean, not all the time, but some of the time. So it's kind of a gamble there. But if you're looking for a solid case with good protection and reasonably good aesthetics, then this is actually a very good case. All right, guys, over to you. I'm actually interested in what your favorite cases are for the S6. If you have any, put them in the comments below. And if you have the Spigen Neo Hybrid, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Hit like and subscribe, that'd be awesome. And as always, I will see you in the next video.